What's going on, guys? Don't mind the hat. It's cold as heck. It looks warm, but it's actually like 36 degrees right now. I'm out here with my boy Blue. Yeah, so in this video I just wanted to chat a little bit about the long-term experience owning 2020 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited. Yeah, just talk about my experience owning this Jeep right there for the last 6 years and 36,000 miles. It's like 35,800 something. So yeah, we're just gonna chat about what I used the vehicle for, how it treated me, did it have any issues, and well, I don't know, maybe cover just basic mods I have on it real briefly. I bought it new, brand new, had 0 miles on it in California, and in the first 500 miles I had an issue with the rear locker, and that issue actually happened when I took the Jeep to Bowman's Lake. That's in California. It's a very popular destination. Many people know about it. If you don't know it, Google it. It is a beautiful area. There's a bunch of trails to explore. It's a very fun place to go during winter if your rig is capable and built for some decently serious off-road. But it is extremely fun place to just take your any off-road vehicle and explore it during summer. There's plenty of trails and there's some lookouts that you can go to. So anyway, we went, me and a buddy of mine, we decided to go camp out at Bowman's Lake for a little bit, and we took this brand new Jeep. It had, at the time it had maybe 100 miles, 150 miles, and basically we drove to Bowman Lake and we put probably about 300 miles, I would say. Well, there and back was probably, I think it's like 250 there and 250 back that we put on it. So yeah, while on the trip there at Bowman's Lake, I get a light that is telling me that the locker is engaged, and I'm trying to disengage it. And mind you, I did not engage the locker at all during that whole trip, and it engaged itself, and it engaged itself in two-wheel drive, which you can't even do on this vehicles. You have to be in four-wheel drive in order to engage the lockers. But the locker engaged in two-wheel drive and the light came on. I'm trying to disengage it, switching to four-wheel drive, back to two-wheel drive, trying to drive it, whatever. Nothing really worked. The locker stayed engaged, and it actually was engaged. I could feel it engaged when I was turning. One wheel turned faster than the other one was like skipping. So that's how you know when your locker is actually engaged. So that was pretty bad because we were 200 some miles out from my dealer, and we had to come up with a way to drive the Jeep back. So we drove it back. We did not drive speed limit, we drove slow because the locker was engaged. You're not supposed to drive with the locker at all. But when we got to the dealership said, hey, you can't drive it anymore. We need to replace the axle because they said something about the part that needs to be replaced doesn't really is not sold by itself or something like that, or maybe they can disassemble it and replace it. I don't know. So they said they need to order an entire new axle. Yeah, the Jeep is 500, 600 miles, and it needs a new rear axle already. So that was the biggest issue that happened, and that was the very first issue that happened. So now it wasn't a extremely great experience waiting for that axle, because that is apparently a decently common problem with the Wranglers. Not all the time you need a new axle, but sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. We'll talk about that later. So basically, I had to wait almost a month for the axle to come in, and I was kind of, I guess, lucky because I just purchased that Jeep, so I got bumped up to the top of the waiting list for the axle. Otherwise, there would be a hefty bunch of people in front of me. And this also happened when I was planning a trip to Vegas, so it put that trip in jeopardy. I had to get a rental. Now the rental I got was not the same as my Jeep, although they should have matched me. I think I got a Cherokee, and yeah, Jeep dealer did not actually want to give me a loaner, so I had to rent it from a place that was nearby. All of this is happening in California. Now the dealership did cover, I think they covered 6 days of the rental, something like that, 5 or 6 days of the rental, and then the rest I had to do myself. So yeah, I went to the Vegas trip and it was all good, and then I came back and I still had to wait for some time to get my Jeep back. So I was still driving that rental to work, and yeah, a lot of the rental costs I had to cover out of pocket. So that was unfortunate, but they did fix it eventually, and I got the Jeep back, and there have been 0 issues since then okay, let me take it back. There have been 0 major issues for maybe 5 years, I want to say. However, there have been some issues, one of which, minor, not a huge deal. I think it's a common thing with all the FCA products, which I think they fixed. I haven't had this issue for maybe the last 2.5 years, I think. So I think they fixed that. But for the initial, 3.5 years, whenever you have navigation set and say you stop for gas, and then you start the Jeep again, and the navigation would not resume. It would just not load. It would just continue to sit on the loading screen, and then you would have to kill the Jeep, start it again, and then there's a high chance that it would go away. But sometimes it didn't, and you had to just repeat that over again, or you had to drive the Jeep for a little bit and then stop it and start it again. Hey, Blue, don't eat that. Okay, so that was the only problem that I actually had for after the axle was replaced for the next 5 years basically, and there was no other issues after that. the Jeep performed really good. It drove really good. Now, I had no mods done to it whatsoever. There were no performance mods other than me installing the 35-inch tires at around like 5,000 miles. There has been nothing else performance-wise installed, and I did, put a bunch of bunch of modifications on the Jeep, which mainly come here, which mainly revolve around storage and camping, just so I could carry, like camping gear. Now, I didn't carry the tent because I did camp out of the Jeep, and it has been comfortable. I'm 6 foot. It has been pretty comfortable camping out of the Jeep. But yeah, just a bunch of storage. Like you see, the wreck was one of the things I got. The water jugs, rotor packs there for gas. Sometimes I went on some pretty remote areas which were pretty lengthy, which I had to drive in 4-wheel drive a lot, and so there was one time where I cut it very, very close, and I was very worried about running out of gas, so I decided to invest in rotor packs to not have that situation, and I did use them a few times. For the most part, though, I am using the water rotor pack more than the gas one. Gas one is not getting used as much, but it is a very nice thing to have when you need it. And sometimes I had to use it to, bring fuel to some stranded people on the trail that ran out of fuel, so it saved some other people as well. I'm gonna make a specific video on the mods later, so if you guys are interested in that sort of stuff, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm gonna make a detailed video of all the mods we have on the Jeep and how I like them. There's some that I like and there's some that I don't, some that I've replaced, but my Jeep is not like, there's some Jeeps that carry half of the house with them. Mine is not like that. Mine is, I think, on the minimal side when it comes to camping. So I have a pretty simple setup, but the setup works really well, so I'll talk about that in the other video. Now let's rewind maybe like five years, right? So the axle started acting up again. Now, not the axle, but it's a sensor. So the sensor, it started to show that the lockers, the rear locker again, is engaged when it actually wasn't engaged. So that time it was just a sensor issue, and it would come up and then it would go away as well. So after some time it just kind of cleared itself out, but it has been popping up every now and then for at least a year. You start the Jeep in the morning, it's fine, there's nothing there. You drive it for a bit and then it comes on. You drive it for a bit more and then it comes off. Now, I could definitely tell it was a sensor issue because when you were turning, like I said, you didn't feel that binding in the wheel. So I didn't really mind it that much because I did not really drive the Jeep at that point on any hard trails where I needed lockers. However, if I would, that would have been a problem because when your locker is engaged and it's shown engaged, but it's actually not, you can't engage it. So if you're in a situation where you need your rear locker and it's not engaging, well, SOL. So for me, it wasn't a big issue, but for some people it may be. Now, I did get extended warranty, and my extended warranty actually covered that because at that point my my regular bumper-to-bumper warranty was, you know, no good anymore. So they did cover it, and well, so far it's been good. Now, one other thing that happened before that locker sensor issue is my rear right tail light went out and it just stopped working one day. We were in the trail and it just stopped working. Now, if you wondering how much it costs to replace the OEM Jeep taillight, the LED one, it's $1,000. It's over $1,000 actually. That's what I was quoted. So if you don't have warranty, it's better to opt for an aftermarket solution rather than go OEM. You can get some better. Well, I guess it's a matter of opinion, but you can potentially get yourself a better looking set of rear taillights for much cheaper. Now, that pretty much covers all the issues that I had with my Jeep. I don't think I had any other problems. So now, I guess, let's just, in summary, let's just say, would I buy the Jeep again, this particular one, new off the lot? And I will say absolutely, in a heartbeat, I would get it again. And as a matter of fact, I cannot see myself not owning a Jeep ever because of how capable it is off-road. Even on 35s, I've been able to do some crazy things, and it has tremendously impressed me. I was a beginner off-roader when I got the Jeep, so I didn't know what to expect. And you know, first 2 months, I've actually went out on some trips to Hollister Hill with some local Jeep club a few times, and I was blown away, absolutely blown away at the capability of this thing, that I was able to hang with some built out JKs and other Jeeps. Blue, don't eat that. And yeah, and there's certain obstacles that I was able to do that I thought there's no way, absolutely no way. And that was in its stock form, that it blown me away. And then I put 35s on and it just became that much better. Now, I wanted to get this video squared away before I changed the Jeep drastically. Now, let me also add or reiterate one other thing, and that is, if this Jeep was used and it came without warranty, I would not be purchasing it. However, let me say another thing, and that is, this Jeep right here, I am going to be keeping it for a pretty long time, unless it starts giving me a lot of headaches. Unless that cost of ownership is gonna start increasing when my warranty goes. I still have a little bit of extended warranty left, so there's some peace of mind there. But once that's gone, we'll see if it gives me any headaches. I hope not. But with that said, right now I'm planning on keeping this Jeep for quite a long time because it is absolutely my favorite vehicle ever. For the things that I do. There are better vehicles out there, but none of them, if you're doing off-road, none of those vehicles can hold a candle to the capabilities of the Jeep off-road. So with that said, there are some major changes coming to this Jeep. If you guys want to follow the channel and interested to see where this Jeep is going to be taken, there's a lift coming, there's new tires coming, there's some steering components that are going to be going on to this Jeep. That Stinger that you see there, I just installed it today. It's already, I'm starting to invest more money into it. This Jeep has been modded when I got it within the first year, and then it stayed pretty much the same. And then I am now starting to put more money into it to basically take it to stage 2. So you see the fenders, the road armor, front and back, the inners, inner fender, those have been swapped. I've been running stock fender chop for the longest time. The Stinger, just installed it today. I used to have the Shorty bull bar from Mopar on there with the Mopar lights. Those amber lights, I used to have rigid, small, like 2-inch cubes there before. Now I went to 5-inch spotlights. So yeah, there's a lot coming. So if you guys enjoy that type of content, subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next video. All right, take care. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Oh.